Bet, as they say down in Ann Arbor. Bet.
So let's talk about a few things. I have 3 things from last night's game, 2 on the field, 1 off the field.
Sure.
Well, I guess this one's on the field. The Bills fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, today. They have relieved him of his duties. Joe Brady will now be the offensive coordinator. So I guess Ken Dorsey is to blame for having 12 men on the field at the end of the game last night.
Everybody needs a good fall guy. Look, Sean McDermott, I didn't like the move of taking the defense over. The Ken Dorsey stuff, here's an idea. Everybody tried to say that Josh Allen was struggling because Brian Daboll left. Now you want to blame it on Ken Dorsey. Here's an idea. Josh Allen's a grown-ass man. He's got complete command of the offense. How about you don't have 90 turnovers in 5 years? How about, here's an idea, you don't turn it over every game you play this season. It's a big whatever to me. If Josh Allen wanted to run the ball more, they'd run it more. If Josh Allen wanted to be more responsible with the football, he would be. He doesn't, because he's still out here thinking he's a cowboy hero. I told you, they're done. They're not making the playoffs, and that's before they lost to the Broncos. Now, what else you want?
So
those animal fans fighting each other in the stands? You see all those brawls?
That was wild.
There you go, everybody. Be mad at me because I'm right about society. Go ahead, take your kids to these games. Look at how these animals behave. Fighting each other. They root for the same team.
Live in the same neighborhood.
What's next? They want to leave the Big Ten?
No, that was not the off-field one I wanted to get to. The off-field one I want to get to is around Steph Diggs, because Trayvon Diggs went out and tweeted last night, tweeted a couple things. One was, my brother needs to get out of there. Then the other one was, let's not forget, he didn't start going off till bro got there, talking about Josh Allen.
Oh, boy.
Now, Steph Diggs has been a question mark in the offseason. He was upset after the playoff loss last year. Is this the final half, meaning the final half of this season? Steph Diggs will be somewhere else next year.
Yeah, there's been something really murky dating all the way back to when he erupted on Allen to end the season last year, the offseason, the mystery absence. And every game this year, we're seeing scenes of Diggs trying to uplift Allen or yell at him. Look, I think that dude's a little off. Yes, it's going to come to a head. But Josh Allen is the quarterback. It is your job. It's a lot like Joe Torre managing the Yankees back in the day. Your job today, it's about ego management. You got to know your personnel. You got to manage egos. It's what I think Jared Goff does a great job of here. Josh Allen bears responsibility as well.
Oh, definitely. So the last on-field situation from last night was about Russell Wilson. He has 18 touchdowns so far this year, which is already past last year's total. Has Sean Payton fixed Russell Wilson?
Man, kind of. I mean, last night the throw to Cortland Sutton was vintage.
Yes.
I still believe, if we're being fair, David, it's the defense that is why they're starting to win games now. Defensively, they were the worst defense in league history the first month of the season. Now, giving up about 16 points a game. It becomes more manageable. I'm not ready to go there with Wilson yet. His numbers are better, no question, but I still think we're missing the headline. And it's whatever they did coming out of that bye week and getting that defense right.
Oh, you are exactly right about that. Let's touch on what may be the best division in the NFL, because right now, every team would be in the playoffs.
AFC North.
That is the AFC North. Ravens at 7-3. Steelers and the Browns are at 6-3. Bengals at 5-4. But the question I have is for the last team and the first team.
Yeah.
7-3, and then you have the Bengals at 5-4. They play each other on Thursday.
Yeah.
Is this a must-win for the Bengals? They are already 0-2 in division play.
100%. Absolute 100%. You nailed it. And look, the Bengals looked like they were getting it together. That performance against the Texans was awful. Awful. You cannot allow C.J. Stroud to come into your house, throw for 375, give up the lead, and then, C.J. Stroud's going to come down the field, take it back. They didn't have Nico Collins. They're throwing to some guy named Noah Brown. What are we doing here? That was awful. Now you got a short turnaround. You got to take on the Ravens. Yeah, it's an absolute must-win. They fall to 5-5. I'm putting them in the same pile as the Bills.
And then my other question within that division, it was a quote here from Mike Tomlin regarding Kenny Pickett. He says he needs to do more. Certainly, we're going to need more, particularly as this road narrows. But guys like Kenny and myself were measured by wins and losses. Right now, in his 21-game career, he has only 13 touchdowns, while C.J. Stroud in 8 games has 14 touchdowns. It's the time in the offseason for the Steelers to look at a new quarterback.
Yes. It's a lot like rebuilds in the NBA. It works or it doesn't. It's not working. You don't need 5 years to figure it out. This isn't Terry Bradshaw 1975. It's time. Yes, David, prioritize it. Go get somebody.
Go get someone. And speaking
Figure it out.
I would agree. And speaking of going to get someone, there were reports before the trade deadline that the Carolina Panthers wanted a number 1 receiver, weren't able to get one at the deadline. Well, report from ESPN's David Newton says that the Panthers called about Devontae Adams and T. Higgins. Of course, they were both turned down.
Yeah, they'd be turned down because if I'm the Raiders or if I am the Bengals, I want first-round compensation plus.
And guess what the Panthers don't have next year?
First-round compensation.
There we go.
So you can call. I mean, Kenny called Scarlett Johansson. I don't think it went well. You can call. Didn't go well. But you shoot your shot. You give it a shot.
You got to shoot your shot.
But yeah, no, I mean, they gave up their entire future for Bryce Young, who right now should be on a cookie wrapper in a Keebler outfit. He looks awful. Awful. And meanwhile, Stroud looks like Joe Montana.
Oh, I wish I had that quarterback.
But do you think? You and me both. My quarterback's wearing a halo right now.
Oh, you're right about that. I'm sorry. You're right. Let's close it out with this because a non-NFL reporter, he just talks about the NFL on ESPN. He went out on the Pat McAfee show today and said that
who's a non-NFL.
I'm getting to it.
Oh.
I'm going to get to it first. I'm going to tell you who it is. He said that Bill Belichick will take over a different team next year. Didn't say what he heard, what team, but he said he's heard that, and that was Dan Orlovsky that said this. So let's just have a little fun. If Bill Belichick was to go to another team, GM, coach, which team you think is best for him?
Hey, let's just do this. We'll do it a different way.
Okay.
I've been told the same thing. and it's no secret who told me. And I'll just tell you, his name ain't Beco Deard. Figure out who may have told me the same thing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. Now, where should he go? Nantucket. He needs to retire and go enjoy his life.
Just leave it alone.
But where would he take over? I mean, David, how do I even begin to speculate on that?
I know.
But I was told the same thing.
First team that came to my mind would be Atlanta. Only because of what what the owner there likes to spend and he wants to rebuild. He has a few
That's
things.
Arthur Blank.
Did I say that's not
the
Arthur
guy?
Blank?
Yeah, that's
whatever.
Man, you're beating yourself up over there. But yeah, I can't laugh at Orlovsky because somebody I respected said the same thing.
And that is a perfect way to end it, Arthur Blank style.
God help me.
That is in football today.